Patriots Nation, listen up. The atmosphere in New England is absolutely electric. Once again, the Patriots are right in the middle of the headlines and giving everyone something to talk about. The work being done on and off the field has the fans fired up, and I want to know, what grade would you give this team for everything they've been building so far? For me, there's no hesitation, a perfect 10. Honestly, my friends, I believe. The feeling is crystal clear. We are on our way to something big, and yes, believe it, the Super Bowl is on our horizon. But before we jump into the first big news of the day, make sure to smash that like button, because it helps spread the energy of Patriots Nation all over YouTube. The Patriots roster is set, the preseason is behind us, and now all eyes turn to Week 1. But before the season even kicks off, there are already storylines swirling that could define the year for New England. And trust me, some of these decisions, depth chart battles, and bold predictions are going to spark debates across Patriots Nation. Let's dive in, because the answers to these questions will shape what kind of season this team truly has. One of the first questions floating around has been about the quarterback room. C.J. Lynch-DeVito, seen by many as a smart pickup, looks poised to hold that emergency third quarterback spot. The Patriots love carrying 3, especially now that the NFL rules make it easier to stash an emergency option. Expect DeVito to practice alongside Dobbs, and if he outperforms him, don't be shocked if he climbs up the depth chart. But no, this isn't a situation where the team is cutting quarterbacks. The staff has made it clear. They want 3 options locked and ready. Now, if you're wondering how Josh McDaniels is going to deploy this offense, the answer is crystal clear. Get ready for a heavy dose of 2 tight end sets. With Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper, the Patriots are looking to bring back that old-school 12 personnel look that gave defenses nightmares a decade ago. And don't forget fullback Jack Westover, who secured his spot on the 53-man roster. Expect plenty of I formation, smash-mouth football, and 2 reliable tight ends who combined for 110 catches last season. Young quarterbacks love their tight ends, and Drake Maye will have 2 proven targets to lean on. Then comes the never-ending debate. Should Jakobi Meyers return to Foxborough? As tempting as it is, especially with wide receivers shifting around, the reality is Meyers isn't coming back. The Patriots have already reshaped this receiver room with names like Stephon Diggs, Kayshon Boutte, Kyle Williams, and the breakout candidate Pop Douglas. Some might argue Meyers is better than Douglas, but insiders believe Douglas is ready to explode in McDaniel's system. This isn't about the past. It's about what this new unit can do. And speaking of the schedule, expectations are building. Many are pegging New England around 10-7, but it's
going to come down to consistency. Early matchups against teams like the Raiders, Steelers, Panthers, Saints, and Titans look favorable. But the back half? That's a gauntlet. Buccaneers, Bengals, Ravens, Bills, and a critical Week 18 showdown with Miami. The AFC playoff race could come down to that game, with the Dolphins and Patriots fighting for the final wild card slot. If you're circling one game this season, that might be it. Now let's talk about the future face of the franchise, Drake Maye. There's buzz about his ceiling. How high can it really be? When you look at his size, his mobility, and that cannon of an arm, comparisons to Josh Allen aren't crazy. McDaniels will be tasked with unlocking him, but expectations are already high. For 1,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and double-digit interceptions. That's the realistic stat line being floated around. The only thing holding him back is turnovers, but if he cleans that up, the Patriots may finally have their quarterback of the future. Protection for Maye will be crucial, and that brings us to rookie offensive lineman Will Campbell. Reports out of practice were mixed. He struggled in joint sessions, looking overmatched. But once the lights came on in preseason games, he flipped the script. Pro Football Focus even rated him the second-best rookie offensive lineman across the entire league for the preseason. 0 sacks allowed. Clean tape. Week 1 will be the real test. But if Campbell holds up, this line looks a lot stronger than many feared. Of course, no team conversation is complete without looking at the wide receiver depth chart. With Kendrick Bourne gone and rookies fighting for spots, all eyes are on young talents like Efton Chisholm and Kyle Williams. Chisholm isn't ready to be a WR2 yet. It takes time to develop in New England's system. But don't be surprised if he's making real contributions as the WR4 by mid-season, especially since history shows Patriots receivers can take years before truly breaking out. Kyle Williams, on the other hand, brings speed and route-running ability but needs more physicality. Right now, Bott and Douglas are ahead of him, and even McDaniels has hinted that Chisholm might earn more reps early. On the defensive side, optimism is sky high around Christian Gonzalez. Some are already calling him the second best corner in football behind Patrick Surtain, with the potential to surpass him. The only concern? A nagging hamstring. If he stays healthy, he could become the backbone of this defense. And while Keion White has received attention, keep your eye on Clavon Chaisson. Coaches have noticed his production in practice, and he's already getting first-team reps over White. This could be one of the quiet breakout stories of the season. But every roster cut comes with controversy. One of the biggest debates has been between Anthony Jennings and rookie Truman Jones. Jones flashed in preseason with pressures and tackles, and many believe he deserved a roster spot over Jennings. The Patriots even explored trading Jennings, but in the end, his standout 3-sack performance in preseason likely saved him. Still, Jones did land on the practice squad, and if Jennings falters, fans may be calling for Jones sooner rather than later. So here's the bottom line. The Patriots enter this season with a retooled roster, a promising rookie quarterback, and a schedule that sets up both opportunity and danger. Some young players will thrive, others may stumble, and one late-season game could decide the fate of the entire year. Now it's over to you. Do you see this team as a 10-7 playoff contender, or are the struggles going to outweigh the hype? Which decisions do you agree with? Keeping Jennings over Jones, leaning heavy on 12 personnel, betting on Douglas over Myers? Drop your predictions and opinions below, because this season is shaping up to be one of the most intriguing Patriots campaigns in years. And here's where things get even more fascinating, because while most of the national conversation is focused on the Patriots' offense and Drake Maye's development, the real X factor for this season could be the defense. We already touched on Christian Gonzalez, but imagine a full year of him locking down opposing receivers, forcing quarterbacks to hesitate on their first reads. When you add the possibility of Clavon Chaisson stepping into a bigger role opposite Harold Landry, you start to see a front that can actually dictate games. And let's not forget how much Mike Vrabel values physical, aggressive edge play. If Chaisson outpaces Keion White and solidifies himself as that consistent starter, New England's defensive line rotation suddenly goes from good to terrifying. Going to come down to consistency. Early matchups against teams like the Raiders, Steelers, Panthers, Saints, and Titans look favorable. But the back half? That's a gauntlet. Buccaneers, Bengals, Ravens, Bills, and a critical Week 18 showdown with Miami. The AFC playoff race could come down to that game, with the Dolphins and Patriots fighting for the final wild card slot. If you're circling one game this season, that might be it. Now let's talk about the future face of the franchise, Drake Maye. There's buzz about his ceiling. How high can it really be? When you look at his size, his mobility, and that cannon of an arm, comparisons to Josh Allen aren't crazy. McDaniels will be tasked with unlocking him, but expectations are already high. 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and double-digit interceptions. That's the realistic stat line being floated around. The only thing holding him back is turnovers, but if he cleans that up, the Patriots may finally have their quarterback of the future. Protection for Maye will be crucial, and that brings us to rookie offensive lineman Will Campbell. Reports out of practice were mixed. He struggled in joint sessions, looking overmatched. But once the lights came on in preseason games, he flipped the script. Pro Football Focus even rated him the second best